Kids, how are you? Today I'm going to call this video, Help Me. I'm going to make it as quick as possible because it's going to annoy me. I'm not, I'm probably the stupidest ass in captivity. Probably. Or close to it. I'm not a great speller. My grammar is for shit. Always has been. My handwriting is atrocious. It's unreadable. Half the time I can't even read it, which is why I learned to type at an early age. And I learned to become an orator at an early age. I could speak, and I learned to tell jokes and have timing and rhythm and all this kind of stuff and inflection. I expanded my vocabulary as much as humanly possible with my pea brain so that I could get along in life without having to write anything by hand or spell anything. So I tried to compensate for what I perceived or what I realized were my weaknesses at a very young age. However, since I've become totally insane, I have noticed, and for those of you that have been following me through my videos throughout the years, prior to the current videos I have on file, which is over 100 and something, I had 336 other videos, which I regret now erasing because I didn't start doing what I'm going to ask you to help me with prior. This was never a problem for me. I rarely stopped, I rarely missed a beat, and I certainly didn't connect every sentence and every thought with the word It seems as if I've gotten, since I began taking medication, I get stuck. And to keep the cadence going and the noise going, I just throw in all the time. And sometimes as I'm jogging through a sentence, suddenly in the middle of the sentence I will stop momentarily, forgot what I was saying, throw in an and then automatically continue on. And it's becoming an annoying habit. And I need to stop it. So I'm asking your help, my loyal viewers, to please write in to my video or my Facebook page and point out when I'm doing this and tell me to stop, because I need to. Because when I check these videos, I just start counting the ums, and it gets really annoying. And I don't want to stop doing videos, but on the other hand, I really need a little discipline, a little spanking. So, if anybody wants to dress up and throw me in a ball gag and take me out in the back and tie me up to a tree and beat me for a couple of hours, I wouldn't mind, if that will get me to stop saying So that's the goal. We've got to stop Michael from saying And I'm going to ask the doctor when I see him next week, and the therapist after that, if it's medication induced, or if it's age induced, or if it's just a bad habit I picked up, or is my brain misfiring, or what. Because it's got to stop. It's got to stop one way or another, or I'll have to stop doing videos. And who wants to know that? It's my only communication. That's my therapy to myself. And I want to be able to have an effective therapy without grinding my own soul down to the nub, because I have to hear myself say, Meanwhile, on a happy note, you know how famously people from Africa and Latin America and the Middle East are good at bargaining and negotiating in stalls, in marketplaces? I've discovered I have this talent too in retail stores like supermarkets and Walmart and liquor stores and stuff like that. I just don't necessarily accept the price that's put on the thing. And amazingly, sometimes if you challenge people, they'll give you a discount. Amazing. But if you don't ask, they never do. So for example, today, something said you need to go down and try something. So I went down, and what I wanted was some Jim Beam Red Stag, because it just felt like a Jim Beam Red Stag kind of day. And I wanted to get And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's bourbon with black cherry flavoring, and it's really good. Now, I've always been a big Jim Beam guy anyway, since childhood, because my grandparents drank Jim Beam with squirt and lemon, Meyer lemon, and it was delicious. And they had it every night at 5 o'clock. No questions asked. It was cocktails, then dinner. And they sat and they had a cocktail every single night of their 50 years plus marriage. It was amazing, a wonderful tradition. Now, you can tell that's like a very loosey, back in the day kind of thing. People don't do that anymore. But they did. And they used to let me have some. And my parents and my grandparents on my father's side were very liberal with things like alcohol and stuff for kids. So they would always let me have it. And I thought it was frankly delicious. So I was, hooked on Beam from an early age. I really liked it. I mean, I preferred it more than, milk. Ew, I don't like milk. So today I discovered a new Beam. And this is called Jacob's Ghost. And it is clear. And this glass, which I'm going to show off, it's going to be hard to see. But this is an Eastern Airlines glass from 1970s. So it's a cordial glass. And so I poured myself a cordial glass full of white Ghost. And it is absolutely a delicious sipping whiskey. Very smooth. Very lovely. And not at all in the tradition of Beam, which Beam is one of the most harsh of the bourbons. It has a very distinct harsh flavor. And if you ever drive by a Jim Beam factory, it smells like Auschwitz. It smells like death. Oh my God, I've never smelled anything worse. They have a factory that makes Jim Beam, and I believe it's in Delaware or something like that. Or the Delaware-Pennsylvania border or something. It's like one of those borders of Delaware. I was driving a tractor truck, and it's like next to this place, and it's by this bridge. And it smelled so bad. I literally almost had to pull the truck over because my eyes were tearing up. It was perfectly disgusting. The only other thing that smelled worse was many years ago as a child driving past a pet food plant once that makes like cat food and dog food. And that was a ghastly smell in the middle of the night. That was quite an awful surprise. So that was just my story for today, some childhood memory. And my shout out for Jim Beam, Jacob's Ghost. Good stuff. I love it. There I go with That's it for now. I'm going to stop. Have a nice evening. Please help me with this thing. I've got to get past it. I'm going to be talking to my psychiatrist about it on Tuesday to see if it's something with the chemicals or the medication or just a bad habit or something. I don't know, because it only started when they started putting me on medications and then changing the medications. So I don't know if I just picked this up as a bad habit or if it's actually something physiological that just stops me from thinking and then turns me back on and turns me back off and turns me back on, which is kind of kinky. It's like edging, I guess, but not so much. Oh, but as far as this bargaining thing goes, so I went down to the store and the guy had stuff this was new, so you can't really challenge the price too much, but he had existing products that I knew the price of were lower at other stores. So I asked him, I said, well, if I'm buying this at full price, which I don't know if this is actually going to be the full price, what about this other stuff that you price more than? And will you give me a discount? At first he's like, no. So I'm like, okay, I'll put it back. So I went slowly, walked it back. Okay. All you have to do is ask. Talk to you later.